Hi guys, Matt V's Movies back for another video, and today is another Matt's discussion, what's on my mind. And today's subject is, do I regret sort of picking up or getting into 4K Blu-ray releases? So yeah, I've got a number of 4Ks now. I couldn't say exactly how many I've got off the top of my head, but at a guess, probably between 40 and 50 titles. Maybe a little bit more, but yeah, yeah, we're going to delve into this subject today on the channel. Okay, so yeah, do I regret 4K Blu-ray? Well, I don't think it's as easy as yes or no. Let's rewind the clock back. So I picked up my first and only 4K TV at the present time in 2012. At that time, it was my 40th, and yeah, I was quite interested in sort of 4K TVs back then. They were starting to become quite popular, and I managed to get quite a nice 32-inch 4K Panasonic. Managed to get it from John Lewis, which is a retailer in the UK, like a department store. At the time, I didn't have any Blu-ray discs because they weren't actually produced. I think it was about 2016 that they came out. But yeah, I was quite interested in the technology. You know, our television at the time was kind of starting to play up, and yeah, you know, I just thought, well, it's my 40th birthday, I'd like something quite nice. So yeah, went into the 4K realm, and it's got HDR on it. It doesn't have Dolby Vision because Dolby Vision hadn't come out at that time. It's still HDR10. It's an LCD TV. I would like to upgrade it to an OLED at some point, but at the moment it's fine. It's still a great picture. So anyway, carried on with a 4K TV for another 4 years. Then, as I say, in 2016 they started to announce the 4K format. Now, I've never really been an early adopter of a format. However, I think, if my memory serves me, I think I jumped into 4K Blu-ray about 2018. And at the time I was considering again updating my projector, which was a Optoma 1080p projector, and I had an attachment which was an extra which converted it to 3D as well. Obviously, I knew about 4K Blu-ray coming onto the marketplace, and I was still very much invested in the 3D, which on my channel now, just a little plug, I'm reviewing 3D films weekly. I'm trying to do it weekly. So if you are interested in the 3D format, yeah, please check out some of the reviews. They tell you sort of what the films, you know, are like in 3D. Anyway, I'm getting off subject. It was just a little plug. Let's get back to the main subject. So yeah, 2018 I bought the Optoma HD50, I think it is, which is a 4K. It's not a native 4K projector, but it is one that it kind of simulates 4K. I forget what the name of it is, but it's also got 3D built into it. It does have HDR, and it's a fantastic picture. I think later that year in 2018, I think I picked up my first few 4K titles. Now, for the life of me, I can't remember which ones they were, but ever since I've, you know, steadily collected more and more 4Ks. Okay, so let's get back to the question, which is, do I regret buying it or getting into that format? because let's face it, I had DVD, then I moved to Blu-ray in about 2007, 2008. Then I got into the 3D side of things, which was an extension of the Blu-ray. You could buy a 3D player, and the PlayStation may have had 3D on it, I can't remember. But anyway, I bought a 3D player, and then I jumped into 4K. Now, for the films that I've picked up, some of the classic films like Jaws, some of the catalogue titles, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, some of these epic films that were made back in the day have got some wonderful transfers on them. Now, I'm not saying that every title is a fantastic upgrade. I do think you have to pick and choose. And this is where it comes to me saying, do I regret it? I don't really think I do. On the whole, I don't regret jumping into 4K, because some of these wonderful films from the past, like Back to the Future, Indiana Jones, all the films, you know, the first 3 films anyway, they all look great on 4K. You've also got the added sound, which is usually Dolby Atmos or DTS-X. Now, I'm lucky enough that my receiver will decode both of these formats, and I do have some discs that have DTS-X. They're not many, it's mainly on Universal titles, but again, it does give you a great sense of sound. Generally speaking, Atmos is reserved on 4K discs, but you do find them on some Blu-ray discs, even the new releases. Now, this is where I come on to where I think possibly 4K isn't always needed on the new releases, because a lot of films now are shot digitally. They look fantastic on Blu-ray, and often they do have the immersive soundtrack as well. Now, I'm lucky that I do have a projector which will simulate HDR. So an upscaled Blu-ray, modern release will look really, really good on the projector. And sometimes it's quite difficult to tell the difference between the two. And this is where I feel possibly a little bit of regret sort of comes in, where I've picked up some 4Ks and thought, to be honest, I'm not really that impressed by this, because I think I could have saved myself a bit of money and just gone with a Blu-ray. And this is where I'm sort of going to now. I'm really looking at reviews first, making my decision as to whether I want to upgrade to the 4K. Is it justified, or am I happy with the Blu-ray? So yeah, you know, it's a difficult question. Obviously 4Ks are, you know, can be sort of up to £10 dearer than Blu-rays at release. Now, the other thing that I would say is, from a collector's editions point of view, generally they're releasing the collector's editions as 4Ks with the Blu-rays included. So if you're a person that likes the collector's editions, I guess if you're not ready to jump into the 4K world yet, but you still have the Blu-ray setup, then you've got the option that if you like the collector's editions, you can get the sets, because you can play the Blu-rays, and then maybe further down the line get a 4K player. I think a lot of us in the community do have 4K now, and on the whole, I think most of us are really happy with them. But certainly my advice would be is to look at reviews. There are plenty of channels on YouTube, in the YouTube community, that will review these discs, give you their thoughts and opinions. There's some videos that will give you screenshot comparisons. Now, there's one particular release which I haven't upgraded, and that's Demolition Man. Now, I've heard that the Arrow edition of Demolition Man on 4K isn't a huge leap from the Blu-ray. Now, I was gifted the Blu-ray from AJ. I must admit I haven't actually got round to watching it, but again, I've seen reviews online that say that the Blu-ray is a great transfer. And again, I'm questioning, well, do I really need to spend extra money on the 4K? And while we're on the subject of Arrow, because Arrow tend to release special editions or collector's editions of a Blu-ray set, and then they'll release an edition of the 4K set. They're one of the only retailers that seem to do that now, which is good because some people just want Blu-ray. Now, I question, well, is it really worth the upgrade? Another 4K, which I think I didn't go for, but I know people have, and some people have said that, I know AJ has said this, that he felt that it looks far better on Blu-ray than it does 4K. It looks too polished, and that's RoboCop. Now, I've got the Blu-ray limited edition of that set, and that came out before the 4K set, but I'm more than happy just to keep hold of that Blu-ray. I'm not going to upgrade it, so I don't regret my purchase there. Couple of releases that came out last year which I was really looking forward to, one being The Abyss. Now, that's a title that never got a Blu-ray release, and I can fully justify buying that on 4K, and you know, it's a great transfer. One transfer which I've never upgraded to, again because I've looked at reviews, is Terminator 2. Now, I've heard that the Terminator 2 transfer is really awful, very sort of DNR'd, that's the word I'm looking for, and just scrubbed the detail. And I think it's got something to do with the 3D release of that at the same time. Now, I do have the 3D release, so there will be a review for that coming at some point. However, another title which has caused a bit of controversy. Some people like it, some people think it's, yeah, they shouldn't have done it, and that's Aliens. Now, I actually quite liked the transfer of Aliens. I thought it was a really nice accompaniment to the Blu-ray. I think you get two different experiences with that film. The Blu-ray is far darker, more mysterious. You can't see as much detail, but then that leads to the imagination. Whereas the 4K, you're seeing details that you've never seen before. So it gives you a very different experience. So from that point of view, I don't regret the purchase because I see it as an additional to that film. So I'm getting a slightly different experience. But for some, they may think that's a big regret. Should never have bought the 4K. It's getting out of my collection and I'm just going to go with the Blu-ray. And I think this is very much the conversation that everyone should have with themselves. You know, can I justify the 4K? I would recommend do your research, watch reviews, then make up your own mind with an informed decision. If you're not fussed about getting something on early release, you know, pre-ordering it or when it's just come out, again, wait. Sometimes you can find, well, often, these films are in 2 for 30 deals, or 2 for 15. HMV, I know with Joker 2 Folie à Deux at the moment, that is in a 2 for 30 deal. I'm keeping my eye on that, and I'm going to actually probably pick that up when it's pretty dirt cheap on CEX, because I know that probably that film, a lot of people liked it, and I can easily see the price of that going down. Now, will I pick up the Blu-ray against the 4K? I'm not sure yet. I need to watch some reviews, make my mind up, and at the time of possibly buying, look at the price difference. Is it worth the investment? And that's what's key here. You know, you need to make that decision for yourself. So on the whole, I would say 4K is worth it because it gives you great sound, it gives you great picture quality. You can get some fantastic collector's editions. Obviously the Star Wars set was all in 4K. Wonderful edition here. You've got the Back to the Future box set, another wonderful edition, all in 4K. And there's many others. Arrow are doing some wonderful editions in 4K and Blu-ray. So it's up to the individual. You make your choice. But I would say on the whole, 4K is worth it for what you want in your collection. Okay, so that's my thoughts on this subject. Be interested to hear your thoughts down in those comments. What do you think of 4K? Have you collected it? Are you thinking about collecting it? Be interested to hear what you feel. Are you sort of quite selective about which 4K titles, or are you just happy to upgrade everything? It's not cheap 4Ks, but also you can get them in good deals. So yeah, be interested to hear your thoughts down there. Please give the video a thumbs up. That really does help me out. It tells YouTube that you like this sort of video, these kind of chats, and that encourages me to create more content for you to enjoy. If you're new here, why not consider subscribing to the channel? Hit that subscribe button down below. Come and join the channel. Got a wealth of playlists, action, martial arts, sci-fi, a little bit of horror, comic book stuff, action adventure, yeah, there's a lot on there, and obviously the 3D reviews as well. Right, well, that's the end of the video, guys. Take care. See you next time. Bye now.